I am 41 now. I was diagnosed when I was 26 with Crohn's colitis, and it was very stressful. I remember a lot of blood and mucus and urgency and being scared about having this disease that there wasn't any cure for. I've been on and off medications, from the beginning, steroids and then mesalamine and biologics. I've tried them all. I've tend to, gotten sick again. And throughout this whole journey, there's so much information out there on how to heal things naturally that I really was confident that I could heal it naturally, but I just didn't know where to start. And I would try things here and there, but then I would get sick again. I would go on steroids and I'd be fine for a while. So.
But you got this when you're mid-20s.
Yeah.
And I mean, that must have just impacted the ability to date, the ability to work, self-image. And I know one of the things that's been with you is just the trauma of, I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do about it. This thing's overtaken me. And, and do you think what really led you to go hard at natural medicine, because you really have just doubled down on natural medicine, is you did everything that you could in conventional, and it wasn't getting you the solution you were looking for? Prednisone, biologics, antibiotics, and did you feel like the reason you came into this route is you just felt like you needed some kind of empowerment, and those things just weren't working well enough for you?
They weren't working well enough at all. The biologics, I wasn't ready. I had been on and off them, and I wasn't ready to commit to the side effects that come along with them. My default would be I would tend to need to go on a steroid taper every year, and I would be fine afterwards. But what really got me serious, thinking I need to make a change, is that the steroids weren't working like they used to. So I've become what they consider as refractory.
And so how many years on and off prednisone, how many years were you using it?
Almost 20, so 26. Since
the beginning.
Yep, since the beginning. Yeah.
Since the beginning, on and off prednisone. And you had gotten to a point where you felt like, I need 60 milligrams a day for this to work.
Yeah.
Not 20, not 40. It's like now 60. I need 60 to work. And as we were just talking offline, you were mentioning that when you started looking at more alternative programs to really help out, the steroids had stopped working as well as they had in the past.
Correct.
So now we're you joined the program in 2022, but you're sitting there and you're going, I'm on 60 milligrams of prednisone. It's not working as well as it used to. I've already been on the biologics. I don't know what else to do. You're going through all of it emotionally.
I was so scared, and the fear and the stress.
Like this.
Yes. I mean, I couldn't even, whenever one of our meetings, I was shaking so much that I couldn't complete a sentence. My voice was shaking.
So you're sitting on 60 milligrams of prednisone when you joined the program, which usually would put you right into symptom-free, but you were still getting some symptoms. So what symptoms were you still getting back in November, I believe it was?
Usually with 60 milligrams, I would be on it, and by the end of the first week, I would feel amazing. My symptoms would be improving, and then I would do a slow taper, but I'd be on it. This last time I was on it for 60 milligrams for a couple of weeks, and I was still having undigested food in my stool,
yep.
Urgency, cramping, mucus, blood, and not sleeping through the night. So exhausted because I wasn't sleeping. I didn't want to eat, because the more I would eat, I would, have that, the tenesmus where you feel like you have to bear down and you're just passing mucus, but not a lot of anything else. So,
I mean, you weren't having a ton of bowel movements, but you were having real symptoms and real problems. that were just nailing you. And it's so scary. And I know a lot of people might relate with this, that you're using the most powerful thing, the steroids, that's ever worked for you in the last 20 to 25 years. They're not working as well. The doctors don't really have much else to give you. It might be like, hey, time to do a surgery.
Or yeah, and like just time to commit to biologics. Like I actually work in the hospital, and every time I'd see one of the GI docs, Katie, are you on biologics yet? Like you really need to be on it. And
It wasn't for you.
but I felt like there was something out there that could help me. And then whenever I first heard from you about you on the Benfield, I think, podcast, and then I started, researching, and I was like, everything that you were saying about, all the different pillars of the S.H.I.E.L.D program, I was like, that makes sense. You had a method, you had an approach to be able to incorporate all of this. And because, we all have access to the internet and all the latest and, hearing different things on social media, but you were able to incorporate all the latest things that I've been hearing in a natural way, without, pharmaceuticals. You've always been good at, please listen to your doctors, but these are what we can do, what you can do, and creating my own arsenal and confidence in being able to, deal with.
Well, and there was a lot of stuff maybe in the S.H.I.E.L.D program you hadn't heard of.
Yep.
And you hadn't tried. I mean, what you've doing this 25 years. You come from the hospital nursing background, and you've been studying and looking into this for years. I mean, was there a large percentage of protocols, resources, ideologies that you had never heard of and that were revolutionary for you?
I think I got excited whenever the pathogen, addressing the pathogens, and hearing your story even about viruses that are laying dormant.
Everyone's missing them. Yep.
And parasites and just even furthermore, like addressing the stress and the emotional,
the energy, the vibration, the nervous system, huge, the trauma, right? Well, let me ask you this, Katie. What are your symptoms now?
I feel great. Normal bowel movement every morning.
Normal bowel movement every morning. Any blood, mucus, urgency, diarrhea, cramping?
Nope. Sleeping through the night. I started playing beach volleyball again, which is, I do it very responsibly. I have to listen to myself. But
you don't put too much stress. Stress is a big one for you.
And that's because we all know, when we're not feeling good, just going to work is exhausting. You're not sleeping, you're feeling run down. So being able to feel good throughout the day is
awesome. So normal bowel movements, no blood, no urgency, no diarrhea, no undigested food in the stool. Last time we checked, your calprotectin was normal. You're zero prednisone. And you were starting with symptoms at 60 milligrams of prednisone. You've been on zero prednisone for about 3 months, maybe a little bit more, no prednisone.
Yep.
And that was in 3 months, 4 months ago, you were, or 4, 5, 6 months ago, it was 10 milligrams of prednisone or 5. So we were still And how long have you been feeling good now?
I would at least 3 months, at least 3 months, even more. I was doing a responsible taper and slowing down at the end. So over 3 months, and
feeling great for months now, and no medications, and you've been able to do this all from your home, right? And what makes you feel like, and we were talking earlier about that confidence, do you feel like you now have the skill set to do more than just take a bunch of prednisone to respond if adversity comes your way?
Yes. Oh, without a doubt. I think we all, with this, we look in the toilet every morning to see, it's our internal to see how things are, or just following how you're feeling.
Well, as you completely heal, you'll stop feeling the need to check. That'll be when the trauma is really gone.
One thing that rang so true was following your intuition. on what you're eating.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you know, before you eat it, or while you're eating it, you're like, this isn't speaking right to me. So even just having that confidence that I know that, you know, and then
you know how to eat in a way that makes you healthy, and you know how to follow your intuition. So you don't, do you consider yourself on a strict diet right now?
No, I stick to my morning smoothies. Those are, you know,
Elemental shake, yeah.
The elemental, which they're just, you know, I feel like I'm getting all the goodness that I need to for the day.
A shake a day, yep.
Yeah, and my supplements, my antipathogens, and
so you're running a program, but also with food, you have options. You can look at food and assess its risk, but you're still predominantly gluten-free and dairy-free. You're getting inflammatory foods away and eating more organic. So you're eating from the earth, would you say?
Yeah.
How important to your success? Because you were in the basic program, then you did extended coaching with Coach Lori. So you've been working with Coach Lori for about 7-8 months now. How important was it to have someone like Coach Lori do one-on-one private coaching throughout this journey included in the S.H.I.E.L.D. program? Do you think you could have got as good of results?
I couldn't have done it without her. Her coaching is imperative to be able to, because you're learning so much and learning how to incorporate so many different things into your daily plan. And she's so informative, sharing the split screens, the way she talks through her rationale behind things, but also very non-judgmental, because you know, making these changes, they're, you know, we eat to live, and it's not like one of, you know, I've had food fears because of doing this for, you know, living with this for so long.
25 years,
and you know, going through it, and you know, maybe not being perfect, but non-judgmental, and being able to work with what I like. And she just made it work for me, and she was so knowledgeable, and had any questions, she had answers for me, or she would find them.
When you got in the extension, how valuable was it to then have, you know, Rachel do EFT tapping with you, or getting groups to meet other people in the program, or just have more time to refine? Because you've had this for 25 years. You've tried a zillion diets. You've read it for so much on the internet.
Yeah.
How important was that to getting you where you are now?
So I think that because there's so much to learn on this new life that I've chosen, that I needed everything in the first part of the first program to build that solid, like tangible foundation of foods and you know, supplements and choices. But the S.H.I.E.L.D. Plus really, for me, I feel it like makes a difference in my confidence in being able to move forward in the rest of my life with addressing not just the tangible, but the emotional part, like with tapping, managing my nervous system, because it goes hand in hand, you know, with our back, with our microbiome, all of that. The one-on-one coaching with Lori, with you, we've had really pivotal conversations. And one thing that I default to is like clarity. Like when you said, Katie, you have clarity on you healing, and yeah, like I needed clarity. Like I know what I want things to look like, and that's going to be how I make all my decisions from this point forward.
Amazing, beautiful. And last question I'd have for you, Katie, is what piece of advice would you give to anyone out there listening and really resonating and saying, Katie reminds me of what I've been through?
I just am so thankful that I found a community that will support me. The coaches that are teaching me are living what they're teaching. Like, you know, you all have experience with what I have, and I feel very confident that I've learned and gotten the tools I've needed to have the life that I want. And I couldn't have done it without the whole program. So I don't know, I'm just beyond thankful. There are no words. And I like I am committed to coming back. I want to come back like in 2 years. And I want to give my testimony to this years and decades down the road, because I'm feeling confident that this is the rest of my life.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. God bless.
Thank you.